Hello everyone, it is March 1st, 2026, and we are back with our monthly analysis video. This is for February 2026, and as per tradition, we will go over our guest distributions first, and I have some very interesting stats. For Squirtle, pretty normal. For me, I have some very awkward stats. Based on what we get from the wheel, things vary quite significantly. So, we've been having some interestingly varied results the last couple months, this month and last month. You can see all 28 days in the stuff on here already. Actually, at once, it just happens to be so. There's only 28 days in the month. It fits literally perfectly on the screen. But anyway, before we go into the in-depth analysis, we're going to go over the guest distribution like I just said. So let's go. We don't do differences anymore, so we're just going to read off what I got. Alright, so I got 0 fails, 2 6s, 7 5s, only 5 4s. That's one of the weirdest parts. And 11 3s, 2 2s, and 0 1s. So yes, combination of 5s and 6s, I got 9 of them, which is a lot, I know. A couple of them forced because of challenges, so I can't do anything at the same time. But yeah, I still got the 3 still the most number, wow. For Squirtle, though, very consistent and pretty typical. 0 fails, 0 6s, 4 5s, 15 4s, and 8 3s. 0 2 0 1s. So yeah, that's pretty typical. The 4s are basically double of the 3s, 15 versus 8. And double would be 16. That's why I said basically double. It's close enough. So those are the guest distributions. Now it's time to go over, do our deep analysis. Now, alright, so Kayak here, pretty good. Things were normal. And then from February 2nd, I don't know why I said it like that. February 2nd is where things took a huge, sharp turn in this game, because that is the day when we now officially have reused answers as possible answers. Old original answers can now be answers again. And at the time I had recorded, I didn't know. I mean, a lot of you already know this because I said it a bunch of times in other places, I didn't know at the time I recorded, so that's why I failed that Wordle, because I didn't know that the answer can just be cigar again. Which is why, because I didn't know that, I did not, and I had said this back then too, I did not count it in the spreadsheet. So you can see I kept it blank for me and Squirtle. So the average, as you will see, it's divided by 27 instead of 28, because February 2nd was excluded from the score and the average and everything, because we did not know. And I highlighted each reused answer in red. So for the month of February, there were only 3. So I guess for the most part, we're still going to get new answers, but you can expect to have some reused answers. And especially, I think, as we progress, as there are fewer new answers left, we're going to probably have more reused answers. So February 3rd, I had equal number of greens, grays, yellows. I had to do that challenge. I actually failed it, though. So I got a 5, which probably would have been a 4 if I didn't even do the challenge to begin with. Here, 2 speedruns in a row. Very, very fast solves, but unfortunately they were both 5s. This one, I stopped it at around 35 or 37 seconds, but actual time was 33 seconds. I went back and rewatched the video. Like I said here, I forgot to stop the timer because I was very pissed, and I forgot to stop the timer. So the actual time here is 33. So here in the gavel, this was a pretty good solve, back to a 4. Here, a lucky 2-guesser. February 8th, we had another speed run, but I went way over the 1 minute, and then after that, I just kind of was playing normally. The actual time was, I think, about 3:36. I just rounded it to 3:30. It's close enough. Plus, I did the is it the answer part too, so I lost time there too, because at that point, it didn't even matter how long it took, because I had long failed it. the 1 minute speedrun part. Hard starting word normally. So yeah, as you can see, if I failed the challenge, I didn't necessarily penalize myself for my score. That doesn't really matter. Anyways, okay, 1 minute speedrun. Okay. Hard starting word Chicella. That was a good solve, 4-guesser. The first half of the month is where I had all the nightmares. The second half went really well. So as you can see, in the first half of the month, there's only 2 3s, and then all the other 9 came in the second half. Because the second half, like I said, went way, way better. Okay, so thematic or normally with a love scene. This was a poopy solve too with scene. I thought that had been an answer. I was avoiding it. Vegan. This was a forced 6. It would have been a 4. I said that after my third guess. It's probably gonna be vegan, but I had to get it in 6 because of the challenge. I had to do the diagonal challenge. So 5 guesses taken. If the E was at the end of the word, then, like, if the answer actually had the E at the end, then it would have been a 5. But can't get less than a 5 for that challenge. Another thematic word. This was a super quick solve. I didn't do the speedrun, but it was a really, really quick solve with Surge. Got it in 3. Mooch was a okay solve, especially because I did not think about that word. I would have not thought about that word in a million years without getting ooch from pooch. This was a super lucky solve here with Bloom from 1 green O and 3. Here's some. I actually had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3s in a row. One of those 3s in that sequence of 6 3s in a row was this February 17th reused word with squad. Squad was an answer in the beginning of my Wordle days. It was in April of 2022 when we had squad for the first time, and that was in fact the first time I ever saw a Q in a Wordle word. So I made a big deal about that. So Mogul was a good solve. Hoist. This was very lucky. There were a lot of options. I got that in 3, pretty lucky. This here, I lost a 50-50 between stock and stank. So that was a 4, unfortunately, but it was at the harsh starting word. So still, in that case, it's supposed to be really good. Awake. For some reason, I thought we had awake. Like, I actually, played the Wordle when we had awake, but it was actually Wordle number. It was the Wordle number 3 or Wordle number 4. So it's very, very, very beginning of the entire Wordle game as a whole. Oops. Anyways, okay, Guava, pretty good. I got really lucky because of the G. I beat it by 2. Attic, here you go. 4. That was with the yellow letters game. Buyer was an insanely difficult word with the hard starting word. Hard word. That was like a Fearless Friday, except it was a Fearless Tuesday in this case. Shred, Lance. Lance was a pretty lucky 2. I mean, kind of lucky. I had 3 letters from it, from Crate. Or Dizzy could have probably been a 4. I don't know. I went with Dippy because I couldn't think of Dizzy. And then Hydra was a really quick speed run. Got it in 21 seconds. So Hydra was a really good solve. Probably one of the best solves of the whole month. Maybe it is the best solve of the month. I mean, actually, no, I take that back. It's not, because I have the 2 2s. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting with the score. So first of all, we tied 104 to 104. Despite my handicaps, I had a bunch of handicaps. I had a lot of handicaps, and despite that, we tied. Literally tied. For basically the entire month, as I was putting in each word, score was basically ahead of me almost the whole entire time. Either it was by a difference of 2, 3, 4, around that. And then towards the end, I caught up, and especially with Hydra, it was a 3 versus 5, so we just tied. So average 3.85, obviously, for both of us too, because we literally got the same score. Median the same, 4, but my scores were all over the place, so I got a 1.11 standard deviation. My scores were genuinely all over the place. 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, I got all of them. And it's not like I got just a little bit of each. I got 2 2s, which is a lot for a 2. I mean, especially with my handicaps. 3, I got 11 of them. 4, I only got 5 of them, which is strange for a 4. For the 5s, I got 7, which is more than my usual. 2 6s, which is also more than my usual. I usually get 0. And even for me, 1 6 is also pretty rare. So 2 6s, and one of the 6s though was like I said, it was completely forced. So that was probably going to be an extra 4 added. So of course, if that wasn't a thing, if that challenge wasn't a thing, I would have won the month already. But okay, and Squirtle with the 0.65 standard deviation, so very low standard deviation. And that's because it only got 3s, 4s, and 5s. So yeah, it makes sense. First quartile, 3 for both of us. Third quartile, I got a 5. That's not surprising that it's a 5 because I got 7 of them and I only got 5 4. So it's not surprising that quartile 3 was not a 4 for me. For Squirtle was a 4. IQR, that's why it's a 2 instead of a 1. And then for Squirtle, a 1 like usual. But even despite my third quartile being a 5, I still got a mode of 3, and Squirtle still got a mode of 4. So that's kind of funny how that worked out. So like I said, my scores particularly, Squirtle's scores not too special. My scores were all over the place. My scores were very awkward. So anyway, so that is the main analysis, but the video is not over because it is time to do the tiebreaker. So this is, I believe this is our second tie ever for Squirtle, between me and Squirtle. Currently, I believe in the whole, this is I think the 33rd month, I believe. This is the 33rd month we're doing this. And this is going to be, I think, our second ever tiebreaker in the 33 months. The second ever tiebreaker, I think Squirtle has won only one of them ever. I think 1 or 2. I don't know. Anyways, let's go QB the Cube. GitHub.io/Wordle. Okay. So QB the Cube. Don't go to this website that often anymore. It's like I used to go to this website all the time when we did the Word Whammer series back in 2022. I don't know. I stopped doing that series the moment I started school as a freshman when I was doing in-person school too, and then as high school. But I still have quite a bit of free time. But junior, senior year, doing Word Whammer like that every single day. But it's not possible. And back then I did 15. I used to aim for about 15-minute episodes per day, which is pretty long for every single day. So I stopped doing that. The episode 100 and episode 200, they're like a couple hours. Like episode 100 is like an hour. Episode 200 is like 2.5 hours, something like that. So episode 200, sorry. Episode 115, which was the grand finale. That was the last episode. I made a grand finale. August 31st, 2022, I think is also the first day of school that year. So, yeah. Anyway, enough yapping about that. Let's go. Let's start this Wordle. We're not spinning wheels. We're just going to start with our slate. And, okay. All right. So, let's see. So, I guess I'll play in hard mode. Slope. No. Slice. Okay, oh, it's slice. Good. Okay, nice. Okay, so got it in 3. So let's see if Squirtle took 3 as well. The tiebreaker is not over. So let's see. I'm just gonna put slide. Doesn't matter. So it's a slide. Oh, slice. My bad. Slide got it in 2. I might have been a little cooked. So that means if that's the case, that means it's going to take at least 3 guesses because it's going to go with slide first. We just saw that. So slice, it got it in 4 guesses. So we won. Nice. It went with slime before slice. So the tiebreaker here, you're going to see me. I did this the other time. We did this too. So slice 3, and I am the winner. And there we go. We won. Oh my god, I put a 3 here. Alrighty. So there you go. That is it for this month's analysis video. 15 minutes long. If you want to see more videos, please subscribe. Next month is going to be a different month for March, because we're going to be doing our March Madness. And you guys will see in today's video, in today's Wordle episode, unless you guys have already seen it, that about how this month is going to work. And I'll see you guys in the Wordle videos. Bye-bye.